conveyance, right?
Land acquisition.
Well, I was going to call you and tell you I didn't need you anymore.
Pending recommendation.
And pending.
He's used to me, yelling, wolf,
Threatened.
wolf. Never mind. But we'll be all right.
Litigation.
Wow.
But you're basically going to say,
Not quite
is
sure.
there a motion? Or there's a
Yeah.
request to
There
go
was a
into
request, yeah.
Yeah, and then a
How are
motion
you?
to-
Yeah.
And then after which meeting will reconvene.
Oh, okay. How you doing? I'm doing good. I believe so. I was just telling Betty I'm gonna reach out to Scott tomorrow. He told me to check for them Tuesday, Wednesday, and he'll have the tickets and everything ready. So I'm gonna try to make sure we get them in hand
Yes.
tomorrow.
Okay, you know how to
Yeah.
That's
Saturday, right now, I am. So far.
You normally don't look
That
that
makes-
good. Doesn't matter. You never look that good.
Okay.
It's all dressed up.
Yeah, you normally look that
It's for the Project Pride.
I heard you were coming.
No, well, I had talked to Betty, because I tried to call you. Scott, they wanted
Hey,
to
I'm going to
contact
the Pope
person.
next week. That's what I came to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for you.
Right, so we put you down for the
I'm
contact
flying,
person, 'cause he's
Wednesday
gonna
night.
have his staff
Yeah, I
members,
got
so
a
you know,
call
like,
for
where you all need
I'm
to
gonna
leave
leave
that
that
and
meeting
all that kind of stuff. Right, so you going, right?
thing first.
it is.
Okay, all right.
Tell me how the parade
Yeah,
from the White House to the Capitol steps. You gonna be at the Capitol?
No, I'm at the Capitol, yeah.
I'll see you.
Yes, thank you.
I can't. I got it. I'm
Where do you stay?
Someplace. I can't remember.
I haven't got a hotel yet. Call in case anybody else. I might stay with you. I call my buddy out there. He's got 2 people staying.
Yeah, you want to read that?
Just what's going on?
Ready? Concentration. Rock and roll.
I know it. It's Constitution.
Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Joliet City Council. Oops, mic's not on.
Perfect.
Okay. Let me say good evening once again, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Joliet City Council, Tuesday, September the 15th, 2015. The Honorable Bob Odekirk presiding. Tonight, the invocation will be delivered by Pastor Herbert Brooks Jr., St. John's Missionary Baptist Church, 104 Zarley Boulevard. Please stand.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Councilwoman Gavin. Shall we pray? Gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, for another opportunity to come before this Joliet City Council meeting on tonight. You recorded in your word in Psalm 67 and verse number 4, let the nations be glad, sing for joy, thou shalt judge the people righteously, govern the nations on earth. And the government we're praying about tonight is our Joliet City Council that we like to call the City of Champions. Lord, we ask your blessing upon this mayor, this council, all of the employees of the City of Joliet, as well as all of the residents that call Joliet home. We ask your special blessing upon this agenda tonight as we go forth to do your work and to do your will. All of this we ask in our Lord's name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
All right.
We'll start with roll call. Mayor Odekirk,
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Here.
Councilman Girl,
Here?
Councilman Hug, absent. Councilman McFarland,
Here?
Councilman Morris,
Here.
Councilman Mudrin,
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First, we have a presentation from the Joliet, Will County Project Pride Neighborhood Hero winners, and John Zelenka will be here to do the presentation.
I'm John Zelenka. Come on up, folks. Come stand right behind me. And I'm here tonight to sing for joy and introduce you to some righteously judged families from Joliet. Apologies to Reverend Brooks. I'm here to talk about the Neighborhood Hero program, and you're looking at several of the finalists tonight in that program. It's part of the Joliet Will County Project Pride group of honors that we are doing annually now. Joliet Will County Project Pride is a organization dedicated to honors and recognition for people who make our communities a better place to live. We feature the Hall of Pride, which is a local hall of fame in the library, second floor. There are 135 plaques gracing those walls at this point. We've introduced a new award for service called the Reverend James E. Allen Award for Service to the Community last year. And our Neighborhood Hero program has been in effect since 2009. Neighborhood Hero selects residents who've shown that they are proud of their property, proud of their street, their neighborhood, and their community. There were 18 criteria. I added a 19th called color. 5 earned the honor last year, 7 have earned it this year. A couple could not make it tonight, they are out of town. I want to thank the Mayor Odekirk, City Council for having us here tonight, City Manager Jim Hawk. The honors include signage in their yard. The signs you see there are displayed in their yard so that everyone passing by and everyone living there know that those are neighborhood heroes residing there for the work they've done in their yards to make them attractive and a place that you want your eyes to rest on from time to time. They'll receive complimentary tickets to our Honors and Recognition banquet on November 10th. More on that later. And they appear on our website, JolietWillCountyProjectPride.org. Best question I figured a neighbor could ask what this sign is all about is, how can I get one? This is a project that we intend to grow. And the city manager told me that he had a similar project in Michigan, and at Zenith, there were 100 finalists. People I want to introduce tonight to you include Pedro Sanchez of 222 Iowa Street, who's not here, at least I haven't seen him yet, and their neighbors, Paul and Maria Bazan of 219 Iowa Street on the east side. I might add these two nominations came to me from the city's graffiti abatement officer, Jana Horsky. Thank him. We are particularly pleased with East Side nominations. The east side of Joliet is where this program began in '09. And Pedro's lived there 10 years. The Bazans have arrived at their home in 1968, and they are staying. The Bazans are here. This is Paul and Maria. Near West Side residents, Bill and Sharon Drilling of 512 Irene Street actually own what I would call an anchor property in their neighborhood. It's hard to miss the rich garden of statuary and seasonal splendor that erupts on the Drilling property each year like clockwork when the holidays roll around. It's a fun place to visit even now. stroll past the drilling household is always rewarding. Bill reports that much of the property existed as a trash dump when they bought the place. It is now a garden of delight, and you see it pictured above. Absent today is Carla DeYoung. She's out of town. She resides at 902 Clement. She had a bulldozer and dump trucks haul off her lawn and spoil in order to create what I call a legendary garden. It's a one-woman operation today. There are arbors, a permanent prep building. That attests to the kind of commitment that catches our eye for pride in the community. Ken and Sally Hill of 624 Cornelia Street, behind me, are well known in their neighborhood. So is their residence. It's constructed actually by Mr. Robert Pilcher in 1939. Outstanding horticulture, shrubbery, and a wonderful ivy complement that cottage. The Hill family commitment to keeping their historic cottage pristine makes it a jewel on Cornelia Street, and they've been there for 36 years. Glad we found them. Jerry Tropey of 1430 Covered Bridge Way actually received permission from the Landscape Committee for her condo to fabricate backyard gardens. This is Jerry here. And luckily, Jerry explained to me she sits on the Landscape Committee. Her choices have been lovely and transcendent, reflective of the gentle personality we found meeting her. She's been a resident there for 13 years. And Jack and Jeannie Thalen of 2006 Black Road. There they are. Explained after they moved into their home 26 years ago that the 1990 tornado had damaged it. The slight building damage was small compared to the loss of trees and evergreens. Jack and Jeannie transformed their place with many new trees and native plants. From the trauma of a tornado, they crafted a backyard of color and wonder. Their residence is an organic environment, a tranquil refuge inside a tree line. They've begun to petition the city to change their address from from Black Road to Arden Place. The Phelan's home is a place of peace. Neighborhood Hero is designed to get larger. In 2016, we hope to double the numbers that you see here tonight. The Honors and Recognition Banquet will be honoring them as well, November 10th. Joliet Will County Project Pride will be honoring for the first time organizations this year, just to have you put this on your calendar, and anyone observing this tonight, that you're welcome to attend November 10th. Join us in honoring the Joliet American Legion Band and the Sisters of St. Francis of Mary Immaculate, celebrating their 150th year in Joliet. And our website features information on how to obtain tickets to that lovely event, www.jolietwillcountyprojectpride.org. Mr. Mayor, City Council members, City Manager and staff, and all present, I present to you our selection for the 2015 Neighborhood Heroes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. Good work, and thank you, everybody, for the pride you show in Joliet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, Jay.
Jeannie, good.
Next, under Mayor, we have a proclamation recognizing September 2015 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Jan Coleman is going to present that proclamation.
Is anyone here to accept this award?
I don't believe so.
Shall I read it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection report, cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among children in the United States. This tragic disease is detected in more than 15,000 of our nation's young people each and every year. 1 in 5 of our nation's children loses his or her battle with cancer. Many infants, children, and teens will suffer from long-term effects of comprehensive treatment, including secondary cancers. Founded over 20 years ago by Stephen Firestein, a member of the philanthropic Max Factor Cosmetics family, the American Cancer Fund for Children, Inc., and Kids Cancer Connection, Inc. are dedicated to helping these children and their families. Whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection provide a variety of vital patient psychosocial services to children undergoing cancer treatment at Children's Memorial Hospital, University of Chicago Medical Center, Comer Children's Hospital in Chicago, as well as participating hospitals throughout the country, thereby enhancing the quality of life for these children and their families. The American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection also sponsored Courageous Kid Recognition Award presentations, community get well cards, and hospital celebrations in honor of a child's determination and bravery to overcome life's obstacles. Now therefore, I, Robert O. Kirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of this Joliet City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2015 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Joliet, Illinois, and it's signed by Robert O. Kirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet.
Thank you.
Next, we have a proclamation recognizing Constitution Week, September 17th through 23rd of 2015. And we have Connie Sigmund, who is the committee chair, and Mary Earnhardt, who is the regent, and Councilman McFarland will read the
We have
proclamation.
some shy members that don't want to come up. Lana, come on. Well, good evening. This evening we're going to mark September 17th, the 228th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation. And it is proper to officially recognize the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and Public Law 915 that guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitutional Week. By the power vested in the Mayor and the City Council, the City of Joliet is proclaiming September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. And I think almost all the world constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. And our Constitution here in the United States is a document in which we, the people, tell what our privileges are. So I think it's so fitting that us locally here in Joliet proclaim, as all of us are elected to this body, proclaim that we are the worker bees of you, the people in the community. So congratulations, and I will give you the mic.
Mayor Odekirk, council members, thank you so much for recognizing this day. It is a very important day, and for the Daughters of the American Revolution, especially the Louis Joliet chapter and this community, we truly believe in this U.S. Constitution, and we want it to be remembered. And I might ask all of you, as all of us are going to try to remember, on the 17th of September, ring a little bell at 3 p.m., because across America, that's what we're going to try and do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have a proclamation for Take Back the Night. And Councilman Hugg is going to read the proclamation. And is Stacy Dillard here to accept the proclamation?
Before I read the proclamation, I'm just going to make a quick note of the flyers we all received. Let me get in the mic here. Take Back the Night, the March Vigil Rally will occur. It's in District 1 over by Essington Road, First Assembly of God Church, which is 1741 Essington Road in Joliet. It will start at 5:30 p.m. Please note that in addition to the rally itself, the featured speaker will be Victor Piscini. Mr. Piscini is actually, as they say here, knows the delicate nature of abuse, being a survivor of sexual abuse himself, and having had a sister who was murdered in 2001. So hopefully we can get this on the website for the city so that folks can see it. Jim, you got one, right?
I do.
Whereas women and men of all ages are invited to take a stand against sexual violence at the 19th annual Will County Take Back the Night March, Vigil, and Rally on October 1st, 2015 at 5:30 p.m., being held at First Assembly of God Church, 1741 Essington Road in Joliet. Whereas Take Back the Night offers an opportunity for survivors of abuse to join with others of all races, cultures, backgrounds, and experiences to combine the strength of their voices to declare an end to violence. Whereas this year's featured speaker is Victor Piscini. Victor knows the delicate nature of abuse. He is a survivor of sexual abuse, and he is a brother whose sister was a victim of domestic violence that ended in murder in 2001. Whereas Victor Piscini has dedicated his life to empowering young people to create a confident voice, value that voice, and share that voice with the world. Abuse and violence is not tolerated. Whereas Take Back the Night began in Europe in 1976 and has continued throughout the world as a sign of empowerment for women, men, and children. For the past 19 years, Will County Take Back the Night has hosted an annual rally to raise awareness about sexual violence and to support survivors in their healing. Whereas Will County Take Back the Night also raises funds for local agencies which assist women and their families. Now therefore, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby recognize the efforts and dedication of those involved in the cause against sexual violence.
Mayor Odekirk and council members, on behalf of the committee, I thank you for this honor and acknowledgement, and I do encourage you to come out on October 1st and support this event. I also ask you to bring someone with you, share it with your friends and family. This is a delicate nature, and we are doing our best to bring notice to it. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
At this point, I have a request for closed session.
There is one more proclamation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And after this proclamation, I do need to go back to our Project Pride. There's a resolution that goes with that Project Pride, so I'm going to need a motion and a vote to
Okay.
pass that resolution.
Okay.
So, but first, we have a proclamation for September 2015 is Hunger Action Month, and Councilwoman Betty Gavin is going to do the presentation, and if Brandon Pettigrew could. In place of?
Mayor, it is a great honor for me to read this proclamation. Whereas the Northern Illinois Food Bank is a nonprofit organization that engages in community and commitment to feed our hungry neighbors, and whereas Northern Illinois Food Bank has a mission to lead the Northern Illinois community in solving hunger by providing nutritious meals to those in need through innovative programs and partnerships. And whereas the Northern Illinois Food Bank provides meals to more than 71,000 different people each week throughout a 13-county network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, youth and senior feeding programs, including more than 80 in Will County, and specifically over 25 food pantries within Joliet, including the Forest Park Community Center, Warren Sharp Community Center, and the St. John's Food Pantry. And whereas Northern Illinois Food Bank distributed 57 million meals to hungry neighbors in 2015, including over 8.4 million meals to the hungry neighbors in Will County. And whereas September is Hunger Action Month, where Northern Illinois Food Bank and over 200 food banks across the country are hosting awareness campaigns and events to bring attention and take action for the cause of hunger. And whereas September is the month to wear orange, forgot my orange today. I should have worn that. And the City of Joliet local businesses and residents are encouraged to wear orange to help raise awareness for the hunger relief efforts. Now therefore I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, joins Northern Illinois Food Bank in proclaiming September 2015 as Hunger Action Month in the City of Joliet. Signed by Robert Odekirk, Mayor, dated September the 15th, 2015. Thank you.
Mayor and council members, we just want to say thank you for recognizing September 2015 as Hunger Action Month. We encourage you during this month to wear orange at the risk of being severely underdressed for this event. I am here in my orange in all of its glory. There are over 65,000 people in your community that are hungry, and we want to bring awareness to that as we encourage you to get involved. One of the ways to get involved just this weekend coming up at the Warren Sharp Food Pantry and Community Center on Saturday between 10 and 2, they will be hosting a community event. And then, or a harvest festival, where they will be teaching about nutrition and hunger awareness. We also encourage you to join us on October 3rd at the Chicagoland Speedway for our annual Foodie 5K. It's the first time it'll be happening there. So there are many ways to get involved in your community, but at the very simplest, just wear orange. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate this proclamation.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mayor Odekirk appointments.
None.
There are none. And then we need to go back to the resolution for Project Pride. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried. And then there was the request to go into closed session. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll move. I'd like to also add collective bargaining to the motion to go into executive session.
I didn't hear you, Ed, what?
Collective bargaining.
Collective bargaining.
And litigation's the other one I believe we're going under.
Current litigation.
Current litigation.
Second.
Okay. Motion, it's been motioned and seconded to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatening litigation, after which the meeting will reconvene. Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Gavin.
Oh, sorry about that. Councilwoman Gavin, I am sorry. And motion is carried. We'll go into closed session. Okay, let the record show that the meeting of the City Council for Tuesday, September 15th has reconvened at 7:35 with all members present. The next item on the agenda is citizens to be heard on agenda items, and I don't have anybody that had signed up on agenda items. And so the next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
motion carried. Next is appointment of Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a motion to appoint Councilman Girl as Mayor Pro Tem effective October 1st through December 31st, 2015?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
I've thought long and hard about this.
You have.
Aye.
motion carried. Next on the agenda is council committee reports. First is the Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee comprised of Councilman Mudrin and Councilman Grohl met at 5:30 this evening to review the regular minutes of the meeting of August 18th, the monthly financial report, personnel summary, travel expense report, and invoices paid report. It was a very routine meeting and found everything being in order and recommend their approval.
Thank you.
Next is the Housing Authority of Joliet Liaison Committee report.
Yes, the Housing Authority Committee met, when did we meet? August 31st, here in the executive room. Myself, Councilman McFarland, Councilwoman Gavin, we met, and also in attendance was Mayor Odekirk. We met with Michael Simonton along with John Chow from his staff. Fredo Melissa was present as well. We had a performance status reviewed by Mr. Simonton, and it was good news that they have been promoted to standard performer from a substandard performer over the last 2 years, which they were just 1 point away, well, 2 points away from being high performance. So they are moving in a positive direction with the Housing Authority of Joliet. Also, Mr. Simonton gave us an update on the Des Plaines redevelopment, where it was also reported earlier before our meeting that they were awarded the tax credits for the redevelopment of the Des Plaines housing complex. And since then, they also has been, well, particularly that day, they were given a draft of a letter for the demolition. But on last Thursday, which also he updated us on, the 70-year celebration was last Thursday for the Housing Authority. They had a wonderful celebration. Several of the council members, along with the mayor, was in attendance at the 70-year celebration for the Housing Authority. He announced that at that particular day that they were also given the actual demolition letter. So they're going to be moving forward with the redevelopment of the Des Plaines Housing Authority. Other than that, that was pretty much our meeting. I don't know if any of the committee members have any additions to that.
I would like to thank you, Councilman Morris, and your committee. I think you're doing a great job. The Housing Authority was troubled several years back. I think Mr. Simonton and staff have worked very hard to get to the current position, and I think the committee, the Oversight Committee and the City Council has done a great job working with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the Public Service Committee report.
Public Service Committee met yesterday, comprises of Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Hug, and myself. We are moving forward all ordinances, bids, and contracts, and resolutions that are presented tonight. The one thing I just want to highlight is that we are approving our salt for the year this evening. We got a fairly good deal on it, and we have no issues or worries that we're going to run out of salt this year. That concludes my report.
I show no other reports. Next is the consent agenda. Approval of minutes. Is it recommended the minutes of the regular meeting held on August 18th and the pre-council meeting held on August 31st stand approved as recorded? Invoices paid report. It is recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 475-15, regular payroll for July 24 through August 6, 2015, $3,256,780.86. Council Memo Number 476-15, regular payroll for August 7th through August 20th, 2015, $3,207,809.12. It is recommended said payrolls be approved. Council Memo Number 477-15, position vacancies. It is recommended the city manager be authorized to fill one public safety dispatcher, one position, and subsequent vacancies. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is ordinances and resolutions. Under ordinances, Council Memo Number 479-15, ordinance approving a vacation of a 2.5-foot by 178.48-foot portion of a 7.5-foot wide public utility and drainage easement located at 619 Wildwood Drive. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 480-15 is an ordinance approving a vacation of Baseline Road between Center Point Way and Knoll Road, an ordinance approving a vacation of Center Point Way between Laraway Road and Schweitzer Road, an ordinance approving an easement agreement, Baseline Road, generally between Millsdale, Center Point Road, and West Knoll Road, and an ordinance approving an easement agreement, North Patterson Road, generally between Laraway Road and Schweitzer Road. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Bless you.
Council Memo 481-15. Ordinance approving an amendment to petition 2003-42, a special use permit to allow a recreational use facility for the driving, racing, and testing of automobiles and all related and incidental purposes located at 3795 Center Point Way. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillen.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 482-15, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow continuation of a two-unit residence and R-3 use in an R2 district located at 659 Landau Avenue. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillen,
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 483-15, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow continuation of a two-unit resident and an R3 use in an R2 district located at 1526 North Prairie Avenue. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 484-15, request to amend Chapter 8, Article 6, Plumbing Code of Ordinances, adoption of the Illinois Plumbing Code 7711, Admin Code Part 890 with expectations. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
I want to thank Dave Mackley and his team for bringing this forward. Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Motion carried. 485-15, an ordinance amending Chapter 31 of the Code of Ordinances in regards to water and sewer rates 2015. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved. Question.
Yes.
Based on all the materials that Jim Egan has given us, which has been re-sent everything to us, as I see the notes on here started back in February that, I don't know if it was the council at that time requested him to go out and get a consultant, but rather than just an in-house survey, looking at this as a business purpose, he went out through our direction, I'm sure, hired a consultant, asked the consultant, as directed, I'm assuming, by the council, to give us a projection for the next 10 years. So he came back with that, a couple different options, made a couple changes to that options, and has now made a proposal to us going forward for the next 5 years, presented to us that annually our operating expenses have gone up 8% a year. We, as a council, had talked about some of the sewers, water mains that have been breaking. They had added in here that they wanted to do 1% or about 5 miles a year. We had requested some of this. We know we have this $71 million number on the sewer separation that's here in 2017. And I've heard statements here since I've been on that other councils should have stepped up and funded this project and got it done before. We've had no rate change since 2011. I've heard some council ask that, why wasn't this problem handled before? With us kicking this down the road again, aren't we doing the same thing that we asked other councils, question why other councils haven't done that? We asked the Public Utility Department to come up with a recommendation. We didn't care for their first recommendation. They came back with a second recommendation. We've had them, as I said, bring the consultants in front of us or in front of anybody that has asked for it. Some council members asked for somebody else to come and look at, can we save any money anywhere? We all know that our budget is 80% salaries and benefits, so the only place you can really save any real money is there. And if we're not going to follow the consultants we have now, why would we spend more money on other consultants? That's it.
Was the motion seconded?
Was there going to be, was there going to be, I know there was talk before about making some amendments, or I assume the amendments were in this.
Mayor?
The amendments are in here, correct?
Yes, the city attorney emailed you a copy today. The ordinance remains the same except for rate increases to the water and sewer. So all of the other items that were in the ordinance were as proposed last night.
So there's basically no economics, or very little economic, there's no rate increase.
There's no water rate
Councilman McFarland
increase
had
as a
raised.
percentage over the current rates.
So basically, it's the issues that Councilman McFarland had raised yesterday that are staying in?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything, go ahead.
And you have a hard copy on your dais, which is, it's called
Yeah,
option B. So I guess what you have is two ordinances, the one from yesterday, and then you have a new one called option B.
I'll move to approve option B as presented, that was emailed us today and it's in front of us.
I think there was already a
They
motion.
just said there wasn't a.
Yeah, there
Wasn't
was
a
no
second.
second. There was no second,
Oh,
so.
second.
Just for clarification, Jim and Councilman Mudrin, we're not voting on sewer rate hikes today. I think that's something the council is going to address. I think there was disagreement as to the percentages that were proposed. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
That's something that will be addressed in the future?
Well, Councilwoman Quillman asked last night, what is the latest to make a decision regarding the $71 million bond for the IEPA requirements, and Mr. Egan said next July. So sometime before then, we need to address adequate income for at least that bond issue.
Well, that'll give us enough time, though, to figure other things out.
That's true.
Your Honor,
There was also discussion on whether or not we should have an audit of water and sewer, have a consultant come in and look at an operational audit. So we'll be exploring that and come to you with that as well.
Your Honor, Jim, could you summarize what the increases are in here then? I know one of them's tap-on fees, right?
I'll let the city attorney review that since he wrote the ordinance.
All right, so if 3152, the fee the water service permit goes from 31 to 45. The tap-on fee goes from $120 to $300. The 1.5 inch tap, $120 to $300. 2-inch tap is $120 to $300, and the 3-inch tap or larger goes from $265 to $500.
So,
Oh, I'm gonna just give me 1 second. I'm gonna go through all of them.
Not sewer, right?
But for under section 3170, the late charge is 10%. It used to be 1.5%.
The 10%, that's on water bills?
That's an unpaid, correct.
Okay.
And on section, I'm going through all the price increases. Section 31-82, usage to be metered. Water during construction is going from $4.95 to $9.95. And then it's going from $3.35 to $6.95, and that's in subsection 1. And in section 3193, the new meters for new service is going to, instead of the original purchase price of the city, it's going to be the cost to furnish the meter plus 10%, which is existing. And section 3199, testing meter charges. It's currently $12.50. The proposal is to increase it to $25 for the first request, and the second request is going up from $31 to $50. Again, that's testing meters. Section 31100, the water turn-on fee, it's not less, it's currently says $120, but it's actually not less than $120. And that's, the proposal is to increase it if it's after hours, depending on staff availability. So if somebody immediately needs their water turned on. And then section 31-137, the deposit required is being proposed from $60 to $125. Section 31-138, the proposed increase is from $30 to $50. That's in subsection A. That summarizes all of the.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, do we have a estimate on what these changes revenue-wise will generate? Or
I'm not
get
sure.
that for the next meeting possibly?
We can.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Just one of the items I forgot to ask, maybe when you get those numbers for Councilman Turk, we could also talk about how the city's going to go after collecting the $5 million outstanding past due dollars from water and sewer charges.
The how much?
I'm told there's about a $5 million, I think they said in committee, that's outstanding in past water and sewer bills.
Well, there's receivables, but we can we can prepare something for you to discuss. Sure.
Questions?
I think the question comes up, one of the things that constantly pop up is the 2 sanitary districts, for instance, those large sums. And I believe the receipt was about 5 million. What are we doing for those folks that, I think that's why we're going back for a greater deposit, is because folks run up the water bill and the deposit doesn't cover basically the bill they left us with. So what's the city's initiatives to collect outstanding debt on sewer and water?
Sure.
Question, Mayor. Yes. I don't know if anybody looked through it. Of course, they just explained it too, but Section 3199. Does anyone find it odd that as a resident, if I feel my meter's malfunctioning and I call them out, I give them a $25 deposit for the first and 12 months, so $50, so forth. If it's registering about 103, that makes sense. It's malfunctioning, so we have to replace the meter and we give them their deposit back. If it's registering at 100% between 97 and 103, they lose their deposit. It wasn't malfunctioning. But if it registers below 97% and it needs to be replaced or repaired because the city's losing money, they get charged, prorated backwards, since they called us in. We prorate it backwards and we keep their deposit. They're doing us a favor. They're saying, hey, my meter's not charging right, I want you to charge me more. I think that we shouldn't be keeping their deposit if it malfunctions in either direction. They were right, it's malfunctioning. Does anybody else agree or no? It seems odd to penalize them twice when they're actually doing the city a favor by turning themselves in.
Jim Egan, does that happen very often?
We don't get calls typically from people when the meters are under registering. What we've done in recent years, we used to have a test bench in the water and sewer department, and the cost to replace that and maintain that, we ended up getting rid of it. We've got a portable testing meter, so we'll actually do the service call, go out to the house. So the fee, in my opinion, covers the cost they have in the service call to go out there and analyze that. Usually, if somebody is disputing the bill, they've got a toilet that runs, or they've got some kind of a leak inside the house, and they're arguing that that there's an issue with the bill, that the meter's not registering correct. If the meter is under registering, we don't get complaints from the homeowners typically. And right now, we've just completed a change-out program, changing meters out, throughout the city. So it's, we don't see that the meters are under registering.
Thank you. Mayor, so I do understand, no, I'm not stupid enough to imply that somebody's going to turn themselves in. But what we're saying is most people will claim they're being overcharged. Sometimes we find out, no, you're not being overcharged. It's within a 97, 103. And obviously, or it wouldn't be in there. Sometimes we find out, no, guys, you weren't being overcharged, but you are being undercharged, and we're going to go ahead and prorate you back for the last 30 days. I don't like that forfeit fee being in there, and I don't care if it never happens. If it never happens, why is it in there? Why are we even covering it if it never happens? If it happens one time, it doesn't seem right to me. I'm going to get the call, or Mayor, you're going to get the call saying, look, I thought I was getting overcharged. I filled my pool. They come out, tested the meter, and said, no, it's not overcharged. It's broken. It's undercharging. We're going to replace it. We're going to back charge you for 30 days, and we're going to keep your deposit.
Mayor?
So if it's not, if it's not going to happen, take it out.
Typically, this is because we don't want to be a plumber and provide plumbing services. As Mr. Egan mentioned, if somebody has a running toilet, that's something that a plumber should be called. But they blame it on the meter. We come out and we say it's not the meter. And typically, while they're out there making the service call, they try and help them find out why their water bill is so high. And so we're really providing a substitute service that a plumber should be providing.
Jim, that didn't address my concern.
It can lower their bill in the future.
That didn't address my concern. If it tests positive, that we keep their deposit. I get it, no problem. If it tests accurate. And we're helping them out when we're there. If somebody shows up to a house, regardless of the reason, and that meter has to be replaced or repaired because it's defective in either direction, we don't keep their deposit. It was a defective meter. That's not a plumbing call. That's a Tinley Park problem. I don't want to head down that road. If they claim it's defective, it doesn't matter which direction it's defective in. If our team goes out there and says, yes, it's defective, thank you for calling, we're gonna remove it, we're gonna repair it because we needed the meter right, they should get their deposit back. I don't care which direction it goes in.
Are you making a motion to amend this?
Oh, thank you. I would make such a motion, if that's allowed, to amend it, that if a meter, in this case, if the meter is defective for any reason and needs to be replaced or repaired, that they get their deposit back, not just in one case.
Second?
So let me understand with Larry. He lost me. So you saying, Larry, if it's overcharging them, then we shouldn't charge them. They should get their deposit back.
They get the deposit back. If it's defective and overcharging them.
But if it's working fine,
they shouldn't get the deposit back.
They shouldn't get the deposit.
But if it's defective the other way, if they say we think it's overcharging us, and we come out and they say, no, actually it's
undercharged.
52%.
No, I got that part.
Right.
I just want to be clear.
We're going to
on
replace it. It's still defective.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
City Attorney has some suggested language
All right.
change.
So if I'm following you, here, I'm going to read the sentence. For the proposed amendment, if the meter registered less than 97% of the amount actually passing through the meter, the charges for the billing period preceding the date of the request shall be adjusted to conform to the amount of the water passing through the meter.
And the deposit shall be kept.
No, I took that out.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Perfect. That's all I know. That's all I want.
There's a motion pending. Is there a second?
We need to
I
withdraw
think,
the
yeah, we need
original
to withdraw
second.
the first and
We
the,
do if there's a
Why
second.
don't we withdraw
yeah, because we
motion
had a
and
first
second
and a
and just
second.
start over?
I
with
withdraw
this.
my second.
I'll
on the
withdraw my
original
motion.
I withdraw my motion, now that it's been clarified. I would make a new motion to pass it, to approve this as amended by the attorney.
And that's option B with the amendment.
Right.
Second.
Can we clarify that amendment again?
All right, I'll read it one more time. This is on section 31-99.
Right.
That last full paragraph, last large paragraph, the last sentence. If the meter registers less than 97% of the amount actually passing through the meter, the charges for the billing period preceding the date of the request shall be adjusted to conform to the amount of water passing through the meter.
Just taking a shot pour for
No,
that.
I read it.
Okay.
But I wanted to hear you.
All right.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
Yes.
One more question, sir.
Yes.
Marty, I'm looking through page 3 here, and it talks about, it says section 2, okay? It says effective October 1st, 2015, chapter 31, water and sewer of the Code of Ordinance is hereby amended as follows. We're deleting section 31-52, and then it says, it talks about fees. The fees for water and sewer permit shall be $45. The fee for sewer service permit shall be $45. What was it prior to? I'm sorry, did you?
It was 31.
Okay, so it was 31. And then the tap-on fees in section 31-53, the 1-inch taps everything's going to 300. What were they
Okay, it was
prior to?
120, 120, 120, 265.
Okay, so those fees are being increased, right?
Yes.
Not the water and sewer, not the usage fees, but those fees are being, so it's going to have an impact. I want to follow up on a comment that Councilman McFarland had made with respect to $5 million of revenue that's out there that we have not collected. Could somebody on staff clarify that for me, please?
Well, I think there was something in the the response to the questions last time talking about how much is outstanding at any given time. What do we have in receivables? Because we're constantly billing.
Sure.
And
Oh, yeah.
and so I've forgotten. Jim,
So that was our receivables number, is about $5 million?
I think that's what's included, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at any given time.
Right.
And I think, there's been a policy of some uncollected debt, with tenants, rental properties when they move out of town and don't pay their final bill. The billing system keeps those accounts open, that if they ever come back to town, that we look them up when they reestablish a new water account. We could work with finance department and, give a better update on that.
So at any given time, we have 5.6 million in accounts receivable, and the majority of that is less than 30 days old.
Okay.
And after 180 days, or at 90 days, somebody's notified, they'll get a shut-off notice. So that's how we
Quantify
you know,
that.
that's part of the monthly billing
So,
at any given time.
so when you say a percentage, maybe Mr. Gadadi can answer that. What's at 30 days, what's at 90, what's at 180? Because for what, 10, 15 years, we were missing about $1 million from the 2 sanitary districts?
Yes, the $5 million was aged accounts receivable that we sent to council. Anything that's longer than 6 months old, we send to the state of Illinois to put a lien on income tax refunds. Mostly everything that's longer than 6 months is uncollectible, but we keep them on the books for various reasons. One would be a bankruptcy. If the bankruptcy comes through and the person who's claiming bankruptcy is liquidated and we're a creditor, it's possible that we could collect some of that money. There's landlords who leave, or I mean tenants who leave, and those are kept on account in case that tenant should come back and try to rent somewhere else later. But most of our bills, we've made every effort to collect it, and the main effort we make is turning off the water.
What was the dollar amount you said of the age? You used the terminology aged.
It's an aged accounts receivable. It shows you 30, 60, 90, older than a year. I will update that and send it to the council.
Do you have a guesstimate of what the 6 month and older is, the total dollar amount?
If I remember, the oldest stuff was about 1.3 million, and the sanitary district is a large part of that, and we are working with the attorney to solve that, and I would hope soon we would be able to come to council and solve that. However, I'm afraid that neither of those sanitary districts have any money. The direction that we're looking at is taking over those districts and direct billing them.
Mayor?
Yes.
The national average of accounts receivable as a percentage of total revenue is 14.6%, and we're at 13.1%. So we're under the national average.
Thank you. Mayor, one question on the heels of Councilman Gurl, just to clarify anybody that's watching, not too many here right now tonight. So we do have, we have the increases Councilman Gurl is referring to are essentially what we would call development or tap-on fees. The current customer, we are not passing any increases on any fees or any rates, correct?
With the exception of those testings that you just amended.
And late fees.
Right.
And late fees, yes. Yeah, the tap-on fees aren't applied to any, it's strictly new construction.
Right, just to be.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So the reconnection fee, it changed, didn't it? Did I?
A connection fee, yeah. So
I mean, if someone water is turned off, did I misread that, or is?
No, you're correct.
That increase?
If we have to shut off somebody's water because they didn't pay their bill, and they they come in 4 o'clock on Friday and say, can you send somebody out to turn back on my water after I pay my bill, it may cost more because we've got to call in somebody on overtime to come back in and do that.
Question.
Yes.
We have a case pending right now, Perez, about tap-on fees. So that was postponed so the city could work with her. Now, is this new amount going to apply to her?
I'm not familiar.
If I can comment, the connection fee for new construction, that dollar amount has not changed. We just revised the language. The language
But
that
was
was,
a tap-on fee, not a construction fee.
there's a tap-on fee. That's the service charge for our crews to go out and actually physically tap the water main. There's connection fees, and that's more of an impact fee to the utility system, and that would be charged for a new residential house connection. That is the $3,500 for water, $2,500 for sewer. Those fees have not changed.
It's all the same, that won't affect that property?
No, the language in the ordinance was just revised. The language that was in there had a prorated schedule from previous increases, and we just cleaned up the language in
I
the
just wanted to
ordinance.
Make sure. Thank you.
Make a motion.
Remove it from the agenda.
Go ahead. Make a motion.
Mayor, and fellow councilman, there's still a lot of questions here, I think, at least from my perspective. I'm not going to speak for anyone else. But with respect to option B, initially, my understanding was when we talked about this last night that there were going to be no fee increases. There weren't any exceptions as far as no fee increases, with the exception of tap-on fees, or with the exception of permit fees, with the exception of the fees that Councilman Hugg brought up. And I know we say, well, tap-on fees, that's only affecting the builders, or that's only affecting developers. Well, in essence, it's affecting anybody who purchases a new home, because it's going to increase the price of that home. I think, if we're going to do something like this, possibly we need to reach out to our business community and see if these numbers are acceptable. I don't know if these tap-on fees, these revised numbers reflect or where we're at as far as, the median. Are we above the average? Are we below the average with other communities are charging for tap-on fees and water permit fees? So I'm hesitant to move forward. I know that Councilman Mudron made some very good points, and it appears that we're going to discuss usage fee increases at a later date. Your Honor, it would be my my thought process, or my druthers, to basically let's take all fees and this whole ordinance at one time. I'm gonna make a motion. I don't know I guess I'll ask our attorney. Would it be a motion to table?
No, there's already been a motion. Has there been a second? Yes, there's been a motion and a second.
I'm sorry.
Either that's withdrawn or it gets an up or down vote.
Okay, well, we'll just vote on it.
Hold on. Jim.
Your Honor, one question.
Yes.
Do we have any comparisons to other communities, what the tap-on fees are? How we compare?
Motion to table isn't-
I don't have those numbers right now. The fee that we're charging, I think that's been established since 2006.
Let me clarify, we're not changing the tap-on fees. We're just changing, it's a $180 increase for the size line that you're coming in with.
Absolutely.
So
it's increasing that fee for that size line. Mayor, I would suggest that we call the question on this.
We're getting some legal advice here.
Okay.
Ask the question.
You're right. You're increasing it.
I would make
It is an increase.
If he withdraws a second, I can withdraw my motion.
Marty, can I withdraw my second?
Hold on.
he's clarifying that.
Robert's Rules of Order.
The question I asked council was, I believe, according to Robert's Rules of Order, a motion to table isn't at order at any time, and that's what he's checking.
That was my understanding, Councilman. But I have
But
no
he wanted to
problem.
check.
I have no problem calling the question either.
Can we just vote?
Can we just withdraw our motions and move forward?
You can withdraw your motion.
You can do that too.
I asked that.
Go ahead.
That you can do.
I move to withdraw my second.
I withdraw my original motion.
Okay.
There you go. Councilman?
I guess, I'm sorry not to convolute this thing, but should the motion be to remove this from the agenda and then bring it back at some later date when we're going to discuss, the entire ordinance? Because if we're tabling it, we're just going to talk about it next month. And I'm not so sure I want to talk about it next month until we get a full plan as far as addressing the usage. If we're going to address usage increases, tap-on fee increases, permit fee increases, let's do it all at one time. And possibly, if we're going to talk about increasing tap-on fees, which affects our businesses, maybe this should go to the Economic Development Committee. at this point in time, I'm gonna make a motion just to remove this from the agenda and then bring it back, whenever staff's ready.
Councilman Girl, it may be appropriate to refer it back to committee.
To remand it back to a
To
committee.
remand it back to the committee. Was it Public Service Committee?
I will move to remand this to what committee would you think would be most appropriate?
Finance.
Public Service?
Which committee did it come out of?
Finance and Public Service.
Well, yeah, no committee made a recommendation
Oh,
on it.
that's true.
Okay. I'm going to move to remand this back to the Public Service Committee.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to remand council memo number 485-15 to the Public Service. Councilman McFarland?
Can I ask one question? Would anybody object to us at least voting on increasing the deposit so we cover some of the costs we're losing? It's a big issue we have. It's an agreement we came together with the Landlords Association.
We could rewrite it and just bring it back at the next council meeting for the one item.
Well, it's up to,
You gotta talk.
it's up to Councilman Girl. He made the motion.
I would say let's just remand this thing back to the committee and keep it clean, and then Mr. Egan can bring that one issue back to the council.
How vote aye?
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye?
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, we have council memo number 487-15, a resolution accepting dedication of a public utility and drainage easement for a water main at Darcy Motors located at 2022 Essington Road. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye?
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland? Motion carried. Council memo number 488-15 is a resolution authorizing the acquisition of 306 Lawton Avenue. It is recommended this said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye?
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 489-15, a resolution accepting grants of easement for the extension of the City of Joliet's water and sanitary sewer system. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye?
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 490-15, a resolution appropriating funds for the Mayfair Avenue, Taylor Street roadway improvement project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye?
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
With respect to Pauline, for the record, it's Mayfield, not Mayfair.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just wanted to correct for the record.
Yep,
I'll
thank
vote
you.
aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 491-15. It's a resolution authorizing a substantial amendment to the 2015 through 2019 consolidated plan. It's recommended that the said resolution be adopted.
Quick question, Mayor.
Yes.
Jim, is this like a pass-through of federal funds?
Yes. Well, this is for making an amendment to our consolidated plan.
Correct.
And so the 1.2 million in home funds that we use for neighborhood services to subsidize those who are purchasing homes. As you know, we have a realtor come in and somebody's buying a new home, and these funds subsidize it to make it affordable for those that qualify. Yes.
So why is this change necessary then? Because we've been doing that. Is this housekeeping?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
So it's not going to be used for any purchases?
No.
Okay.
Outside of homes.
I would make a motion to.
Second.
To what?
Prove it.
Prove it.
Okay, you didn't say that.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 492-15, a resolution authorizing the allocation of home CHDO set-aside funds to Cornerstone Services, Inc., and the execution of the home CHDO agreement between the City of Joliet and Cornerstone Service, Inc. It is recommended that said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 493-15, a resolution authorizing the allocation of home funds and the execution of a home fund, of a home sub-recipient agreement between the City of Joliet and the Will County Center for Community Concerns. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
And Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I don't count?
Oh, Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Yes, you do count. You always count. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there you go. Say it for everybody here, Mayor.
Council memo number 4, oh, nope, we are on to bids and contracts. Now, this is where I need none of us to fall asleep. Everybody stay with me. Award of contracts. Council memo number 495-15 is a request for authorization to renew the contract for snow removal for municipal parking lots. Council memo number 496-15, a request for authorization to award a contract for Springfield Avenue, Glenwood Avenue to Oneida Street Water Main Improvements Project 2015. Council memo number 497-15, request for authorization to award a contract for North Rainer Avenue, Curtis Avenue through Theodore Street Water Main Improvement Project 2015. Council memo number 498-15, a request for authorization to award a contract for Gauger Road, U.S. Route 6 Water Main Improvements Project 2015. Council memo number 499-15, request for authorization to approve the 2015 through 2016 rock salt purchase contract. Council memo number 500-15, request for authorization to award a contract for the Beatty Lumber Country Clubs Villa Lakeview Commons Street Lighting Improvements Project. Council memo number 501-15, request for authorization to approve a professional services agreement for the Mary Crest Water Main Relocation Surveying and Drafting Project. Council memo number 502-15, request for authorization to award a contract for the Mayfield Avenue Taylor Street Roadway Improvement Project 2015. Council memo number 503-15, request for authorization to award a contract for the Fifth Avenue Storm Sewer Improvements Project. Council memo number 504-15, request for authorization to purchase a vehicle-mounted hydraulic valve turning machine for the Public Utilities Department. It is recommended council memos number 495 through 504-15 be approved.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. Could you go from the beginning?
Absolutely. I am glad, though, that you are all still awake.
So moved.
Second. We did that, didn't we?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Motion carried. I almost thought I lost you, Councilman Morris. Okay, and next we have amendments, change orders, and payments. Council memo number 506-15 is a request for authorization to approve payment of emergency sewer repair at 3231 West Jefferson Street. Council memo number 507-15, request for authorization to approve change order number 3 and payment number 3 and final for the 2014 sidewalk curb replacement project. Council memo number 508-15, a request for authorization to purchase replacement pumps for the Route 66 lift station. Council memo number 509-15, request for authorization to approve change order number 3 and final payment for the East Side wastewater plant non-potable water system upgrades construction project. Council memo number 510-15, request for authorization to approve change order number 2, payment request number 10, and final for the Haldeman Terrace Phase 2 water main relocation project. Council memo number 511-15, a request for authorization to approve payment for utility improvements for the Laraway Campus Public Safety Facility. Council memo number 512-15 was pulled at yesterday's pre-council meeting. And council memo number 513-15 is a request for authorization to approve amendment number 3 and payment request number 10 for the professional services contract for Phase 3 engineering for the Cherry Hill Road and New Lenox Road roadway improvements project 2014. It is recommended council memo numbers 506-15 through 511-15 and then 513-15 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It is it's motioned and seconded to approve, and we have Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Girl,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Motion carried. Then next is city manager.
Nothing to report this evening.
New business, not for final action or recommendation.
Mayor, I have one item.
Yes.
Mr. Hack, is there any way next council meeting we can get a presentation on the parking study for downtown? I think it's been about 1.5 years since we dusted off that plan.
We'll put together an update for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? I have a couple items. Number one, Chief Ben, we got an email from you earlier in the week about Narcan deployment. I think it's good news. I want to commend you and the officers involved, and I hope that they be recognized for what they did. But if you could share with the council and the public what happened.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Yeah, we, as you know, we appeared before you recently because we received donated funds to supplement the Narcan program that all of you supported. Basically, it's an opiate antidote that our officers were trained to deploy. We worked through the Will County Health Department, received training on shift, and within a week of handing out the Narcan to our officers, they were successful in deploying it twice, and both times brought the patients right back. And so they're very impressed with its ease of use and its success, and we hope that it's available in the future for any more overdoses we encounter. So thank you.
Good work, thank you. Number two, Saturday, September 5th, there was Vet Fest downtown, And I know one of your officers, Officer Chad Evans, was instrumental in putting that on. I'd like to thank him. I hope he also is recognized for his efforts regarding this. I also want to thank the City Center Partnership, and I'd like to talk just for a minute publicly about something that myself and the city manager have been discussing, along with several others on the council. It's apparent to me that if we or the City Center Partnership puts on an event in downtown Joliet, especially in the warm summer months, people will come day, night, and any of the weekends where it does happen, where there are events down there. Going forward, I know we're at the end of the summer this year. For next summer, Jim, I'd like to see us working with the City Center Partnership and have a real schedule of events set up a little bit more aggressive than what we've done in the past. Because it definitely seems like in this city, people will support downtown. If you put an event out there, close Chicago Street or a couple of streets, let the businesses flourish, we seem to always draw well down there. That was another example. That was a Saturday afternoon where downtown was packed. So going forward, I would really like to see next year some type of plan implemented with the City Center Partnership.
Certainly.
And that's all I have for new business.
That's great.
Okay, then next is public comments, and we have one, Christopher Pedersen.
He's the only one left.
Statesman IFB Pro Christopher W. President 702 Vine Street, Joel 605. To this distinguished body of councilmen and councilwomen, I want to address full council, legal counsel, and Chief City Manager James Sack on the direction of our great city of Joliet, City of Champions, Crossroads, America, and the principles in our great city that I want staff to stress to all citizens and residents alike. I want to bring this matter towards staff's attention that if any one item has a citizen's employee's name on it, belongs to that resident of our great city. Therefore, I want to urge the City Council in the near future to adopt ordinances that protect citizens, residents alike in our city and the state of Illinois. If I could have council for approval for the administration, I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Don't think we have anybody else, so mayor and council comments.
Councilwoman.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to thank Councilman Morris and Ms. Betsy Satcher. We are coming together, the youth baseball team under this last championship. The bad news was the name of the team that won the championship. But I deem to say it's good news because these young men, 11 to 14, was not able, under some circumstances, they overcame that and went on to win the championship. So thanks to Councilman Morris, we are able to take those team members out to Chicagoland Speedway on Saturday, and they will get to tour the facility. They will also get to talk to the drivers, and so it's going to be a fun event. And I just want to thank these two for helping put that together. And then we will highlight them later with Alfredo, who is over the baseball program for the Spanish Center. And we will honor them with a luncheon coming up. So thank you so much for that. The other thing is, I don't know if anybody else got this, but the Adler Planetarium Galaxy Ride. Did any of you get that memo?
Yes.
Well, what's going to be happening is on September the 18th, there is a 300-mile bike ride from the Adler Planetarium to St. Louis, and you'll be able to view all of the galaxies. Matter of fact, they're going to stop here in our city in Joliet, and so they invited me to ride along, but I will be in D.C. on that day. That was a perfect way out. But anyway, anybody interested in that, and I do have the information, I'll share it with everybody else, but Christina O'Connell from the Adler Planetarium is planning this galaxy ride in expedition, so good luck to those riders who will be traveling 300 miles. That's all I have, Jan, I think.
Thank you.
No comments. Nobody listens. No comments.
I'd just like to publicly thank one of our city employees, Officer Kelly, and his family. Officer Patrick Kelly and his family hosted a lemonade stand on Saturday, which I know a few of you up here stopped by and made some donations. They donated they raised about $6,000, which is going to go to fallen officers that were killed in the line of duty. So I want to give a personal thank you on behalf of the residents for Officer Kelly and his family for stepping up locally here to help others that are in need throughout our state and country.
Yeah, as much as I would like to take all the credit for the young men going to the Speedway, actually I just made the phone call to our friends at the Speedway, Mr. Paddock, and before I could even finish asking him really what we wanted, he was elated to contribute whatever it is. I thought I was going to have to take up a collection from the council to pay for the tickets, but Mr. Paddock, he opened the gates and for the young team to come out. I'd like to thank Ms. Gavin, Ms. Satcher, as well as the Spanish Center and Alfredo just for the work that they do throughout the summer with the young kids in the baseball program. It's a wonderful program to give the kids. A lot of the kids, I was told, never played baseball before, so, organized baseball, so that was great. So we're looking forward for them to having a good experience this coming Saturday at the racetrack. So again, really thanks to Scott Paddock and his team out at the racetrack. That's all I have, Mayor.
Already used my time.
Councilwoman.
I would just like to send my condolences to the Don Cordano family. He was a businessman and CPA. He started his business out on Hickory Street and moved to the west side later on, many, many years later. And I don't know anybody that he didn't, well, not anybody, but he was just seemed to be everyone's accountant at tax time. He also had many accolades. He was on many boards and various charities, too numerous to mention. And he will be sorely missed, not only personally, but in the business community as well.
Councilman? I have a couple items. Number one, on September 2nd, I went to another ribbon cutting for Republic Hall at 113 Republic. It's a great facility. I encourage anyone to check it out or to look to book in it. It's a huge room, one of the bigger ones in Joliet. So good to see that back in business. Number two, I want to thank and congratulate the good people down at the Harvey Brooks Foundation. They put on a Gospel Fest a couple weekends ago. I know several of my colleagues were there. They did a great job. It was a very nice event. I would like to thank and congratulate the individuals responsible for the Mexican Independence Day Parade this last weekend. Special thanks to Marge Franchini and Alicia Morales for all the hard work and everybody who volunteered there. There is a ALS fundraiser September 26th at the Joliet Park District. It'll be between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. on that day. There'll be plenty of things to do, including ice bucket challenges. And with all due respect to my colleagues, I think if any of us show up on that day, there'll be somebody willing to pay money to throw ice on us, except for maybe John Grohl.
Yeah, right.
What day is that?
September 26th.
I'm working.
And then finally, we have race weekend this weekend, and Nitro Night will be downtown on Thursday, so I encourage any of our residents to come out and participate and support NASCAR coming to Joliet. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
So moved. Second.
Guys, you
It's
wanna
been
go home?
motioned and second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.